if your point guard is good enough to not worry about level 1 and level 2, right? And you have some really good guards, then you want to be able to train them. First of all, to always be able to see all 50 feet. Okay. You don't want any of those guys, Butler, any of those guys coming off the screen with their head down. So what they have to start to see, and you can set drills up this way by putting like coaches in those level 3 defender spots. Okay. Cheating them in, right? Cheating them into the lane to tag, cheat in early. Don't cheat at all. You can train them to see the level 3 defenders, but I think it's at the point of the screen that their head has to be up, and it's probably a dribble past that, right in that area, right beyond the screen in that first dribble, that I think they really have to begin to see all 5 defenders. But I'm telling you, if you train these guys, they're going to have a feel for it even before they get to the screen. And by the way, this is where watching some film doesn't hurt of your opponents. Okay. I want to show you this one play, and then I'm going to try to find all those switches. Juwan Howard runs some great stuff out of timeouts and to start halves, which is very understandable because he's been in the NBA for 20 years and coached 6 before this year. So let's watch this play to start the second half, and you tell me what you see. I'm going to run the play full speed, and then I'll run it back. What'd we see?
Well, they went to 2 sides, and they were really going to play off the second ball screen and
Very
create the guy who initially slipped. His man was going to have to be the tagger.
Right. Okay. Excellent, Jerome. I mean, you know this stuff as well or better than me. But let's watch this, guys. Let's really study offense right here. Okay. I got some people on this call, young men and women that really, really want to see the game at a high level. Okay. Let's train our eyes here. Okay. Let's train our eyes, all 10. We got some really good basketball minds on this call. So here's what I see. I see misdirection to the left. Okay. I see what we call a rip screen into a side ball screen, but that's just fake action. Here comes the rip screen to try to free Livers to get to the ball screen unencumbered. But actually, it's really a decoy. Okay? Because watch, who's this? Eli Brooks? Watch Brooks pop out. Now, the real action is happening on the right side. Again, think level 1, 2, and 3. Teskey steps up. Level 1 is defeated. Watch those level 3 defenders on the weak side. You got shooters over there. Stick Smith is in a drop. Okay? Big Sticks out of Mount St. Joe's in Baltimore. My man Pat Clatchy, longtime coach there. Phil Booth, etc. So Sticks is back. Level 2. Drop coverage. Got to find a solution. Pocket pass. Everybody see that? I'm going to get to the switches in a second. This guy with the ball, his name is Marcelino Huertas. 37 years old, from Brazil, Brazilian national team for 100 years. Back in 2000, he was an exchange student at Capel High School in Dallas, played for a guy named Brad Chastain, who many of you know, and then he turned professional. At 33, he joined the LA Lakers. He played with the Lakers Kobe's final year. He and Kobe, he loved this guy because Kobe knew him from the Olympics. Kobe was an international junkie. Okay, what do we call that? A little floppy action. We don't want this guy in pick and roll. We want Huertas in pick and roll. That's who we want right here. Okay. There's the screen. We defeated him. All right, now watch this. Level 2. That level 3 guy, I'm telling you, see that guy in the left corner?
Yep, I see
Right
him.
now, I'm just telling you this, Brandon Branch. You ready?
Yeah.
This guy with the ball, he can either shoot a floater or a layup. He can hit the roll man. He sees the corner man. He sees the guy in the slot at the left who's going to trail to the top of the key. You're basically he's just deciding how he's going to kill you. Okay? He's already killing you. He's just figuring out whether he's going to knife you or strangle you. Okay?
Okay. I saw that.
Okay, level 1. This kid Campazzo, Argentina. He can play in the NBA right now. There's rumors he's coming over. He's only 5'11". And but he's got a $6 million buyout from Real Madrid, so he's probably not going to come this year. But he's good enough. He's a younger, faster JJ Barea. Okay, let's get a ball screen out there. All right, level 1. He knows the screener's coming. Watch him cross over to take his man to the outside. Set it up. All right, now he's got his man where he wants. Level 1. Here comes level 2. Oh, hard hedge, Coach Tang.
Split
it. Now we're at level 3, folks.
Throw the lob.
Or the drop off. Or the dunk. Are you guys bored?
No.
No, we're having a great time.
All right. I'm going to share all this with you. Hey, you're warming my heart, guys, because I'm showing you stuff. I'm hopefully making everybody a little bit better. By the way, I want you to know this. I am so much a better coach than I was on March 11th, and I'm not even coaching anymore. I've watched so much tape on pick and roll. I'm learning more and more. Okay.
Hey, coach, before you go to this clip, just quick question for you. Because something I noticed on that last clip compared to the ones before on level 3. So CP3, when he was hitting level 3, man, he hardly ever broke the free throw line.
Yeah.
But the last kid on that split, when he got in the paint, and I think this kind of goes back to what Coach Brooks was asking earlier about, or maybe Coach Tang about getting too deep, right? They cut the guy from the corner. Now, if you got a shooter there, are you leaving that guy? Or are you cutting him so that ball handler can see him?
That's a great question. Who is that, Amir? Who asked that?
Yep.
Amir, that's a great question, man. I want to show you this right now. That is so good. I want to show you this. I don't know if you're going to see it on this play, but guys, ladies, this is very common in international basketball right here. And there's a lot of things that can happen on this. First of all, this guy coming off the ball screen, I don't even think he's going to be involved in the play. I think they're kicking it over to number 9 here, Huertas, Amir, okay? But let's just say, for the sake of looking at this setup right now, in this situation, let's just not worry about the defense for 1 second. We have an advantage at level 1. We have a roller going to the basket, okay? We have a lift out of that left corner behind Amir. See it?
Yep.
Okay. Now, a lot of you guys and ladies aren't fortunate enough to have 3 shooters out there with a roller and a great point guard, Amir, right?
Right.
So you got 2 guys on this side right here. I would always put my shooter on the single side.
Okay.
Throw behind. Okay. Now, what do we do with these 2 guys here? You see how their defenders are cheating in at level 3?
Yep.
Okay. Now, and this happens a lot. Okay. You got a couple choices here, because this is not even going to be the play. It's going to be kicked over to number 9. They're going to run something else, but this happens a lot. If you have a bad shooter or a 4-man in the corner, as this kid comes off and turns it up into the paint, back cut him. Okay. Back cut him. I call that a Kirilenko cut. Okay. And they call it a corner cut, obviously. I call it a Kirilenko cut because he could not shoot. And so anytime the Jazz came off the pick and roll here, Kirilenko would back cut. If this guy turned his head on the block, you could even lob it to him. Okay, now, if you put the 4-man up in the right slot where number 9 is, Amir,
Mhm.
and he turns the corner at the point guard, what can you do with him if he's a non-shooter?
Non-shooter, you could spot cut him.
45-degree cut.
Yep.
Okay, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Back cut him from the wing, and you got your shooter in the corner. If your 4-man's in the corner and you back cut him, then you drift the shooter from the wing to the corner. And so now you've got point guard downhill, you got roller coming out the backside, you got lift on the weak side, you got corner cut to the basket, and you got wing to the corner. Make sense?
Make perfect sense.
Everybody's in motion. And why do I say that? Because a lot of you guys are coaching teams that are incomplete. You don't have great shooters at the other 3 spots. So how do you hide that 4-man who's a high energy guy, okay, who's a rebounder, who's a cutter, and you got a 5-man who's rolling? Put him in the corner and corner cut him. That kind of answer.
Coach Fraschilla, this is Walter Fisher from Governor State University.
What's up,
I'm
Walter?
in the NAIA conference,
Yes,
and
sir.
actually we play a team who won our league.
Yep.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we played a team who won our league who actually runs this exact same set, and I would like to know because they normally put their 4-man in the corner like this.
Yes.
But instead of rolling the 5, they pop the 5 or send the 5 directly on a down screen for best shooter, and then they send 4-man up to a flare screen on 9. How would I defend that?
Oh man, see now, listen, I got this on this video, man. I got flare slips all day long. Good question. So it's a good question, Walter. So what Walter's saying is, and again, this is what I want you guys to think about. This is what I want all you guys and ladies on this video to think about right now. How do you learn offense? How do you add wrinkles to your stuff? And Walter just gave us a great wrinkle for what we just talked about. As the point guard comes off, 31 is going to go headhunt the shooter in the corner and down screen him. Okay. And we may know that the team we're playing on defense likes to switch a lot, and they might even switch these 2 guys on the right side in an interchange here, okay? So what Walter said is this corner guy is going to come up from the right corner and screen 9's man, and as 9 uses the flare over the top, the screener is going to screen and slip to the basket. Okay? Good wrinkle. Especially against teams that switch, Coach Hamilton. Okay? So how I would play this, Walter, is the screener's man protects the lane. The flare screener's man has to stay inside and take anybody who cuts to the basket. So in this case, I would go over the top with 9 on a flare, and the screener's man stays in the lane to protect. Answer your question?
Absolutely. And because we beat him on level 1, the backside down screen for best shooter, that's just got to be something we talk out, right?
And Amir, if your 4-man is not a good shooter, instead of back cutting him sometimes, maybe out of a timeout, you flare screen the shooter right here.
Yep.
And slip them.
Yep.
Especially if they switch. And again, if you like something offensively, and you see it on tape, this is how you add wrinkles to your offense. This is how you learn to become a better offensive coach. Study this tape right here. So Walter just gave me the adjustment defensively, and we came up with an adjustment offensively to the defensive adjustment. Okay, so watch this now. I want you to watch number 9's body language here because they got nothing. Shot clock's down at 8, 7, 6. Watch. Body language. I used to do this crap in Brooklyn in the schoolyard. I'm half joking, but I did actually, because you got to think. You got to be a thinking man. So he rejected this screen and got to the lane. Look how slow he is, man. Oh, I love this. This is great. Watch this. This is how we used to watch tape. I want to tell you something. My assistant coaches used to say, Coach, they put a new defensive wrinkle in. I go, hey, stupid ass, excuse my language. They didn't put a defensive wrinkle in. The guy ran to the wrong spot. So watch what happens. They're supposed to be, see if I can get this. They were supposed to not be in ice. Watch the defender on the screener at the end of the clock. He's thinking they're in a drop and over, or at least a hedge and over. So the confusion is right here. This kid's in ice on the ball. Watch the screener's defender at level 2. Watch him give you the shrug shoulders right here. He just told his teammate, we're in the wrong coverage, man. All right, Tyrese Halliburton, level 1, 2, and 3, college kid, 20 years old, playing against Seton Hall. Level 1, there's no pressure. Level 1's piece of cake. Where's Russ? Russ, pop up in here.
Yeah.
Watch the screener slip out early, Russ. See him? Doesn't even have to screen.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
This is Lance Irving.
Go ahead, Lance.
What are you telling the screener to do? Are you trying to tell him the guy that's setting the screen the bottom third, or screen halfway in between?
Okay.
You
Good
tell the
question.
screener to look for.
Good question. Here's what we got. Solomon Young, the screener, he already has a feeling that Tyrese is going to beat his man. So he doesn't even have to set the screen in this situation there, Lance. He's leaving early because he sees that Tyrese is going to go by his man. But if we were screening to create the advantage at level 1 for Halliburton, we're going to screen his back shoulder so that the defender has to go over and not under. That makes sense? We're going to screen his back shoulder so that the defender on Halliburton will go over the screen. But he doesn't have to even screen here because he already sees that Tyrese is going to create the advantage. And watch, this is what Russ asked earlier from Tennessee State. Which do you screen? Do you open up? Do you sprint? And this is just a go screen. He leaves early. And when he leaves early, who does that put the pressure on? Level 3. Because level 2 has to worry about Halliburton. Watch it again. Can your players make this pass? And the answer is you got to train it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that low defender in the lane. So college kids are seeing level 3.
That's a pro pass.
You can work on it. We had never allowed the guys to do this. We never let them throw one-hand passes in the old days. We never let them make jump passes. We never let them throw that hook pass. If you don't allow them to look opposite corner and attack level 3, you're going to be playing 2-on-5 all night. Anybody know who Billy Barron is? Son of Jim Barron, used to coach at Canisius. This is Billy with the ball right here, playing in Serbia for Red Star. I think we got Big Mike Ojo out here from Florida State. This might be Big Mike on the ball. All right, so watch how simple the game is. We're attacking the first side, level 1, 2, and 3. Shooter in the right corner. They're trying to tag the roll man. Got 2 up on the ball. Okay, so the level 3 defender on the right block's got a tag. Throw behind. Easy game. Utah Jazz. Okay, this is what we call pistol action. Now, watch how Donovan stops. He doesn't even screen, he stops. Okay? Now he moves a little, but there's the screen. Okay, level one's defeated. Joe Ingles is the slowest man in the NBA. Slow is better. Kyle Lowry, really slow in pick and roll. Slow is better. Level one. Level two, the roll man. Even there, Russ, he leaves early. Okay.
Hey, Fran, you're seeing that a lot with the Celtics this year when they set those stagger ball screens, those double
Yes.
screens. If
Yes.
the first guy makes contact, that second guy's getting out of there so quick, and it creates that gap for him just to drive right off his butt.
By design, Russ. By design against good defenses. These are the best defenses in the world. We're worried about beating, Sheridan, JC, and Lemoyne Owen and Kansas, and these guys are trying to score on the best defenses in the world. That's why they're good at this. Watch Spider Mitchell. Now, this is a hard shot, by the way. That's a hard shot, but that's level 3 right there.
Hey, Fran.
Yep.
Jonathan Maddox, Morehead State. Could you elaborate on that slow is better point you made?
I will.
A lot more guys come in and they only know one speed. Kind of talk about slow is better.
Joe Ingles, crazy slow right here. Watch how slow he is. Look at this. Can't be any slower than this. Okay? You really can't be any slower. That's slow enough? This is what we call a hostage dribble. Ryan Pannone, some of you guys know Ryan. I stole this from him. Hostage dribble. Look at Joe. Got the guy on his back. 5-on-4. Level 2 defenders worried about the roller. Look where those 3 level 3 defenders are. Now, again, they have shooters, so it's a little different. Look how slow Joe is. I mean, come on, man. That guy plays at the Y. Come on, that's that 45-year-old dentist that plays at the Y. Okay, who played Division III. Serbian kid. This kid was drafted by the Sixers. Played in Turkey this year. But he's about 28. Hostage dribble.
Fran, I have a question. Gomley, Helligba, University of South Dakota.
Hey, Gomley.
How are you doing?
Great.
My question is, from all the pick and roll coverage stuff you've seen, I'm going defensive here because you got my mind thinking defensively. What's the best defensive coverage you think is to go against pick and roll? And then my second question to that is, do you think it's best to be really good at one defensive coverage or being able to be average at maybe multiple different defensive coverage?
That's a really good question, Gomley. And here's the answer to the first question. Who is the ball handler and who is the screener? And like, in other words, when you analyze who you're playing this year, is it the Summit League?
Yes.
Okay, in the Summit League, who are the best teams in pick and roll, and who are you guarding? Who do you have to slow down individually? So of the 6 or 7 or 8 different ways you can play pick and roll, Gomley, you got to figure out the way that's going to be most conducive to teaching it to your team, where you're going to see the most type of those pick and roll offenses during the season. Okay. That's the first answer. It's my opinion now.
Yep.
Second answer is get great at 1, get pretty good at the second, and try to be pretty good at 3 and 4 as wrinkles during the season.
Okay.
But get great at a couple.
Yep.
And understand that you also have to know the solutions to your coverage in order to try to take those solutions away.
Right.
Because whatever you do defensively in pick and roll, you got to give the other coaches credit for attacking your coverage.
Right.
But if I'm seeing all pick and pop guys during the season in the Summit League,
right,
I might be switching a lot.
Yeah. And that's what we do a lot of, is switching, but people start, posting up your switch and getting all these things. But
That's what
so-
you got to be thinking about. And here's what I would tell you also. And here's another lesson for you guys. Make as many pressure decisions as a staff in the non-pressure time of the off season. So in other words, Gamali, as you guys are getting ready for the season, I know everybody's got a lot of time on their hands right now, but your coaching staff ought to be discussing these things.
Right.
As you're coming into the season, hey, who's back in our league? Who are the guys we got to slow down? Who are the best pick and roll pop guys? Who are the best pick and roll point guards? And I think that's how you decide your coverage from there and get really good at one or two.
Yep. I'm a big fan of the drop coverage, so I like that a lot. And now it's kind of building it in from there.
I think drop coverage is good for college because I think you can live with giving up that mid-range pull-up jumper. Here's another hostage.
Hey, Fran, the hostage dribble, and I just find it like our guards do it too much.
Yeah.
When do you teach the ideal time for them to use the hostage dribble?
When you're attacking level 2, right now.
Okay.
I
got you, but sometimes it's just better just to like have a foot race to the other lane line, make that big slide over, create a bigger pocket, and deliver it. So is there
I think if you don't gain a complete advantage where you can go downhill right now, right, Jerome?
Yes.
That's Davion Mitchell right now, and he's getting downhill right now. He's attacking that big in the ponytail at the foul line.
Gotcha.
Okay, I think absolutely. You don't want to use this too much to where they're not on the attack. You know what I mean? But I think what you can use it for is if you don't have him beat right here, or look how crowded level 3 is in the lane right now, because that white jersey on the right block hasn't gotten out quickly yet.
Yeah.
And by the way, that might be Shane Larkin. That's Shane Larkin down there popping out. He had a great season. Okay, remember Shane from Miami?
From Miami, yep.
Yeah. So watch what Micic does, the point guard. He can't turn the corner, Jerome. So he's going to get this guy, and now look at level 2. And see. This is where I know you don't want him to do it too much, but I think you could train these guys right now. You know what I mean? You can put 2 coaches on those blocks, and maybe if maybe one coach raises his hand, that's who he throws it to. Or maybe you put a coach in the corner, coach on the block, and you simulate level 3 right here. Because if you see on that left side that guy guarding the wing, he wants to tag the roller, but he doesn't get in there.
I have a question. Mandy Carver, Fresno State.
Hello, Mandy.
Football. Mountain West champs. I feel like now I just got to say that every time.
Bulldogs. Go Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs. So what would be some techniques to teach seeing that third level that help the helper? We try to teach our kids to count defenders.
Yes. I'm going to tell you a story, Mandy, okay? I was in the Bahamas last August with Texas Tech and a couple other Division I teams, Georgetown, and a Serbian team was over there training. And the Serbians are great teachers, okay? And this is the team that had a guy 7 years ago by the name of Nikola Jokic, who's now in the NBA and one of the top 5 passers in the world. Okay, I got video on here I could show you, but not tonight. So I asked the coaches of the Serbian team, how did you train your big guys in short roll, for example? And here's what he said, okay? Let's assume what you're seeing on the screen. This is big Michael Ojo here from Florida State. So let's say it was a short roll and we threw it to Michael right there where that purple circle is, Mandy. See it?
Mm-hmm.
They put shooters in the corners and 2 coaches on each block. And what they did was they put a coach underneath the basket. So you got 3 coaches, okay? And you can use managers or whatever. If the coach put his fist up, that meant that the big guy drove it to the basket. If the coach put an odd number up, it meant that the big guy had to throw it to the left corner. If the coach put an even number up, he had to throw it to the right corner. But every time he caught the ball, he looked at the coach underneath the basket, and it was almost like it's almost like when Steph Curry uses the lights, the red, white, the red, green, and yellow lights. You know what I mean? Or the tennis balls. And so, can you train level 3? Yes, but you have to create some drills that simulate your ladies reading the situation. Do we throw it inside to the roller? Do we drive it ourselves? Do we kick it out to the opposite corner? And I think as a coach, you got to create those drills yourself. Okay. I can't necessarily give them to you because I don't know your offense, but you can break your offense down and create these kind of what I call mental agility drills. Okay, mental agility. That makes sense?
Yep.
I once asked a good friend of mine, he was a head coach a couple years before me, and I said, I need a drill for traps. And he said, well, easy, just make a drill up. I go, well, I need a real drill. He goes, no, make it up yourself. So we just put 6 guys out on a court, 3 on the midcourt, 3 on the baseline. And you had 2 sets of partners. I threw it to one guy of the 3, and he had to dribble around midcourt and get trapped. And then when he got tired, he threw it to the other 3 guys, and whoever he threw it to, that guy dribbled around and we trapped him. And it became our trap drill. And the guy that gave me the idea to create your own drills, his name is Calipari, and he was coaching at UMass back then. So the point is, it's okay to create your own drills. Okay, last thing, and then I'm going to find those switches. There's a hostage situation. Okay, really simple here. I'm just going to show you this. This is Billy Barron again. There's Michael Ojo with the screen. Hey, by the way, this play right here is America's ball screen continuity play in transition. So you got the 2 bigs. He's going to kick it over. They're going to cut the first guy. You see how fast that guy cut? Wow. Throw it to the second guy. Here comes the ball screen. That's a stretch 4, man. And here comes Michael Ojo, Big Mike, 7'3". That's an illegal screen in college, by the way. So be careful when you teach this. All right, so you got a ball screen, 4-man's being lifted on the left side. Michael's rolling. Watch the little guy on the right block at level 3. Helps in, kick out 3. All right, now I am going to jump ahead. I'm going to, and again, all right, I'm going to show you one more thing.
And you sending this to us, right, Coach?
What's that?
You gonna send it our way, like through email or something?
I just don't want to go too long. Coach Tang, should I stop soon? Okay. Watch this. This is that vertical screen we talked about earlier. All right. Look how high Rudy sets it. Someone asked me, I can't remember who it was, about slow is better. We're dropping over. Watch Joe. Watch how slow he is. He snakes it. Slow is better.
He was shoulder to the hip, though. He was slow, but he was low.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here he is again. Slow Joe. I'm going to get to the switching, then I'll stop. All right, now they ice him. Got to have a solution for every coverage. This is supposed to be an ice. All right. So they're going to push him to the sideline. Okay. Russ, watch Tony Bradley slip out early. He's already engaged level 2. Tony doesn't have to screen here. Who was it? Lance? Lance, you hear me? There's no reason to screen because he already sees that Joe's even with his man. I used to say this is a good term. If you're even, you're leaving. If you're even, you're leaving. So Tony Bradley can leave early. Level 3 is accounted for because they don't want to give up a 3. And they're going to force Joe and Tony to play 2-on-2 hoops here. And Joe's a genius, so he's getting a shot. I didn't realize how good this guy was in pick and roll until I started watching tape this spring. Ice. Showed you this earlier. Ice. Okay? Ice coverage. Steve Prohm does a great job. I've seen this play, short roll, 200 times last season, and 150 times it was a charge by the big. This has been coached, guys. I want you to watch George Condit. He's been coached to be under control here. If you don't coach this, you're allowing it. You've heard that before. So ice coverage. We're at level 2. Watch Big George. Stops, pivot, hits the hook. That can be coached. Oh, this is fun. Watch this. All right, now. What are we seeing? Coach Tang, you're the professor. What are we seeing here?
It was a pin down right into a ball screen. They're gonna try and you got slivers, I think livers on this corner.
Yeah.
So that's who they want to make his man tag. If he doesn't tag, it's gonna be a dunk on the step up.
Well, what happens if Teskey pops instead of rolls?
I didn't know Teskey. I didn't know Teskey had that in his game. That's on that flat screen.
Okay, let's put your thinking cap on, Coach Tang. He can shoot the 3.
Okay.
So what do we do on that weak side if they throw it back?
Oh, if he goes, it's a drop defense hedge. So and they're going over the top. If he pops, you're gonna get like a full rotation off on this backside.
Let's see.
That means the guy in the corner is getting a wide open shot.
Let's see.
I'm gonna stunt.
Okay, all good stuff. Who said that? Was that you, Gomely?
Yeah.
All right, let's watch. Now this is where Juwan Howard knows what he's doing, because he probably already knows how they're going to defend this on the weak side. And I believe this is out of a timeout.
Let's just start the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
How good is that, folks?
Yeah, he had choices.
Yes, he did. He sure did. And we know Teskey can stretch it a little bit. So, yeah, starting the game. Pop, stunt, cut. And if you don't have the cutter because the bottom defender takes that cut, 45 cut, we can skip it to whoever that is over here.
That's their best player, Livers,
yeah.
I think. So
yeah. Great. And you're watching tape during the season and you see 34 is an aggressive stunter. You got to have a solution for that. And maybe he's not open because it's good D by 30. So now Teskey's got to see that. And we throw it, maybe he lifts up. And by the way, I know what you're going to say to me. You're going to say, Coach, we're going to switch on the backside. Okay, Mandy, you watching this? I got you. We're going to switch on the backside. So the bottom man's going to take Livers and the top man's going to take the guy coming out of the corner. Okay, good adjustment. What happens if the bottom man stays in the corner? Now we're playing 2-on-1 on number 30, and we got to be able to make this pass to the deep corner. Okay? We have a plan. You adjust. We adjust to the adjustment. You adjust to my adjustment. We adjust to your adjustment. That's good coaching by our guy. Okay, back to Huertas. Okay, we had an under. Right? What are we doing on an under?
Rescreen.
Okay, so let's see. These European kids have been doing this since they were 14. If anybody's got to leave the call, please don't stay on. I'm all good. Okay, you see that little fake to the corner? Watch Huertas. Watch how much of a genius he is. This is schoolyard stuff, man. I'm telling you, I grew up on a schoolyard playground, asphalt. And I was the shortest guy in my schoolyard, the whitest too. This is schoolyard stuff you learn when you don't have great physical ability. Watch this fake pass to the corner to get the defender leaning toward, getting him off so he can set up level one. See that fake and the guy jumps a little? That's level one right there. Okay, let's watch. Watch the big automatically rescreen. Now, what are you doing on a second rescreen defensively?
You have to go over.
Automatic switch for us.
Okay, good
Going
call.
opposite what you go the first time.
Say that again, Gomley.
Going opposite whatever you do the first time.
So you'll go over. You'll go over. Okay. Now, he's going over, and I think it's an aggressive coverage. So he may be switching it. He may be trapping it. He may be hedging. But see, Huertas already knows this because he sees this every night in the ACB league. All right, here's the aggressive. All right, but he still defeated level one. Maybe there's a switch here. There's a roll, so somebody better get that roller.
Top X. Ooh.
By the way, he lied. You can't tell on this. He lied with his eyes to the weak side corner. Watch that defender on the weak side block, the level 3 defender. He hesitates.
Coach Tang, I have a question.
Yes.
When you said automatic switch, you meant the first one, right? Or you would go from a drop into an automatic switch with your X5.
Our rule for us, our rule this year was a rescreen was an automatic switch.
Yes.
So we didn't get there was no confusion in it. We didn't have to worry about, well, I went under and now I got to go over. And it was, if they ever rescreened on a handoff, anything was an automatic switch.
I would say to add to that is no matter what you do, just do it with consistency.
Yeah.
Some people will automatic switch that second rescreen. Some people will trap it.
Was that the Freddie Gillespie privilege, or you say you guys would do that with everybody?
No, we did with everybody. It's just like we talked about, well, man, we could do this, you could do that, but like Fran was saying, for us to be consistent, if they knew what we were going to do, we could be consistent and aggressive doing it. And we just felt like that was the best way for our guys to always do the same thing and then to do it aggressively. So.
And by the way, Coach Tang, not a lot of offensive teams will rescreen twice.
Yep.
Because they don't do it.
Just like on a snake for us on a ball screen, if the guard snakes it, it's a switch. So like that made it real simple. We just I think Fran has said this in teaching offense, keep it simple. I think in teaching defense, you got to keep it simple and consistent, and guys develop some rules and some habits, and it just translates to aggressiveness.
Hey, Frank, could I say something before you move on real quick? You just touched on it.
Go ahead.
And I noticed it kind of goes hand in hand with slower is better. And just through my experience watching some of the better pick and roll players, you just talked about manipulating the defense with your eyes. Can you expand on that a little bit? I think that's huge.
No question, man. Great point guards at level 3 lie with their eyes. They come off a screen. They're looking at the corner, but they see the roller. They come off a screen. They stare at the roller, but they know that that's going to bring the defender into the lane so we can make the cross court pass. I see a screener coming up to get me from the right side. I'm staring at my teammate in the left corner. You got to be able to lie. You got to manipulate the defense with your eyes. This is like schoolyard stuff. I mean that. It's stuff you learn on playgrounds that isn't taught anymore. Okay, let's see. Under. Okay, this is that high ball screen, vertical space. Okay, look where Rudy is. He ain't shooting that. Someone said earlier that Gallinari was in shooting range. We know Rudy isn't, but he's still setting that screen high. Rescreen. Okay, Patty Mills, 2 teammates, 2 Aussies. All right, let's watch the rescreen. There's the roll. Simple. Rescreen. Watch her work this now. Genius. This is the same clip as before, guys. Same clip as before. Roll, foul. You got another one coming. I put this on twice. That was my fault. These two plays look the same. Rescreen. Hit, handoff, under, trap, hit, boom. Okay.
So, Fran, that's just their way of giving him a live dribble.
Yeah.
Where some people may do like some kind of floppy action and give the guard the live dribble. They do it off of like a pistol or a handoff.
Yeah. There's a DHO. Well, not a DHO. It's just a handoff. He didn't DHO into it, but they're setting this up right now with the little handoff, right? See that? All right. So he's going to go under. That's one. That's two. Okay. That's three. So now the defender's like, F you. I ain't letting this guy, go under one more time. So we're going to trap him. Now, because the trap is there, 19 feels it because he can peek over his inside shoulder, that left eye, his low eye. All he's doing right now is he's peeking at the defender, and he sees that defender is in a position to trap it or hedge it hard. So he knows that. Huertas knows that. There's no way he can roll all the way to the basket. It's going to take too long if he's being trapped. So he's going to open up quickly and short roll. And when he short rolls, it's a press offense right now. Okay? See how quickly he opens? It's a press O. Every press O has three outlets. Left corner, short roll, guard opposite right, and a long diagonal. Your press offense against 1-2-2 full court, if it's a good one, has three outlets and a long diagonal. In this case, we're hitting the middle outlet because it's essentially a press right here. And we have a solution. And this is where, as a coach, when I was coaching and I was running pick and roll 25 years ago, people would trap us, and I would say to my team, we're going to crush these guys because I had a solution to the trap. And so it's like, okay, MFer, you want to trap us? Good. Trap us.
Coach, Tommy Strine at Lamar University.
Hey, Tommy.
On that short roll, is that something we're telling our guys to roll hard every time. Is that something where like on this, obviously, like he's reading it, but is that something where we're just letting our center just kind of make a read on it? And because like you said, a lot of the times he's just going to run that guy over at the rim.
Tommy, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question on this video. If your point guard gets trapped right now, how easy will it be for him to find your big rolling all the way to the restricted arc?
Very, very difficult there.
Okay, good. So here's the deal. No doubt. So we know that. So in order to put maximum pressure on the defense, you got to train your big man to feel this, and it's practice, to just open up early. Okay? A lot of you guys at the mid-major and NAIA level, like I did, I had a 6'3" point guard. Some of you guys know Travis Lyons, who coached at Howard with Kevin Nickelberry, and Travis is now at Riverdale Baptist in Baltimore. Played at DeMatha. Travis was 6'3", 260. He played power forward for me and was a great player at Division I. He was great in short roll 25 years ago because, to your point, Tommy, there's no way your big guy is going to get a chance to roll all the way to the rim. So this is a solution to a trap here. Open up early. Gotcha. Put the pressure on the defense right now.
So the screener needs to make as much of a read as the ball handler does.
Absolutely.
All the time on these ball screens.
Absolutely. And he's got to feel this trap coming. Watch this. If he, again, he's screening. I used to teach my guy, don't worry about the screen. Peek over your inside shoulder, your left shoulder. If you don't see your defender in your vision, it means he's high. So if I don't see him in my vision, if he's not in a drop coverage, I'm going to open up right there. And they do, because he feels it. He feels the trap.
Gotcha. Okay. So your screener needs to be able to read stuff as well then on
totally.
this.
Hey,
gotcha.
If the corner blitz comes in football and your wide receiver's running a fly pattern, he ain't ever going to get to it.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. That's awesome.
See? And if that corner blitz comes, Brady's hitting Edelman on a 12-yard dig route, and he's off to the races for 10 more.
Right. So traps like your slant then. You're getting your
Exactly.
hot read. Gotcha. Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Oh, this is great. Okay. Again, we taught this. I was with Jeff Van Gundy in New York. When I got fired at St. John's, again, did I tell you they never recovered? I think I did. I have Italian amnesia. I forget everything but the grudge, Terrence. Okay. I should have 800 wins by now at St. John's, but that's another story. God's been good to me. I mean that. God's been good to me. So watch this now. Trap. We need a press O right now. This is no longer man-to-man defense. This is a trap. This is a trap with 2 trappers, 2 interceptors, and Lopez as the safety man. What we used to teach, and I got this from Bob Hurley and Jeff Van Gundy. We get trapped. The ball handler takes 2 backup dribbles out of this trap to create time and space, and also give the big guy a chance to open up and roll, short roll, because he sees it. Okay? Now, Jamal Murray only uses 1 dribble, but fortunately, watch his reverse pivot away from pressure. And I think I freeze this here. I freeze it on purpose. Look at him turn away from the pressure, hit Jokic, press O. How good is that, Coach Tang?
That's really good.
All right. Again, let's get back to level 2 for a second, and let's analyze this. We're at level 2 and we get trapped. What's our solution?